What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, can you believe that the Nintendo Switch is now less than a week away from releasing? I mean, this system that we've been hyping up for so long is now only a few days away, and it's just so insane to think about it like that. I'm getting so excited for this system to come out, and it's only a matter of days before I can finally have it in my hands. And so yeah, the hype keeps growing for this system, but today I want to talk to you guys about Nintendo Switch Online. Now, if you guys saw my last video on like big questions that I have about the Nintendo Switch, the number one question that I did have was about the Nintendo Switch Online, because we still really don't know that much about Nintendo Switch Online. And sort of in this video I want to talk to you guys about why I think Nintendo Switch Online will be pretty good, and just give you guys my thoughts on like what I'd like to see from it and how it'll probably work, as well as clear up a few things, because I know the one thing that people didn't like, and I'm also included in this as well, is when they showed off that or they didn't really show it off, but when they announced at the Nintendo Switch presentation on January 12th that we're going to be having to use a phone app in order to play online, a lot of people were like, okay, that doesn't sound really good. And it's always weird because we'd be like, okay, Nintendo, if they're doing voice chat and everything, there's no way that they could do something different. And it's funny because whenever I talk to my friends about Nintendo and just stuff like that, a lot of times my friends compare Nintendo to Apple because of how like everybody else does something similar, but Apple and like Nintendo do their own thing, and it's like really different. Like how everybody like on an Android has like the same charger, but then Apple comes out with like a brand new different type of charger. It's sort of like how the same thing goes with Nintendo a little bit, where everybody uses voice chat with like a simple thing built into the controller, and then Nintendo comes up with like this way of using your smartphone and stuff like that. And so yeah, I definitely was a little bit disappointed as well when I first found out that you were gonna have to use like a phone app in order to be able to use voice chat and other online features. Like I was definitely thinking that there's probably some way that I could have just used voice chat without having to use my phone. And I know a lot of people were disappointed by that, and a lot of people were talking to me about saying how that's like a really bad thing and how Nintendo shouldn't have done that. But I want to clear that up with you guys right away. I want to tell you guys why I think that Nintendo has to use a phone app in order to help, like, or in order to make it work on the Nintendo Switch. Because obviously the Nintendo Switch is a unique system. It's not just like your normal home console and like a normal controller. It's a very unique system, and it's definitely got a lot of play styles, and it's very different than like a normal Xbox or like a PlayStation. And so you guys will see where I'm going, but there's a reason as to why I'm pretty sure that Nintendo wants you to use your phone app. And the one thing that I know a lot of people are saying is because of battery life. The Nintendo Switch is definitely going to be using up a lot of power because you're playing full console games that are in HD on the go, and so that's definitely going to be using a good amount of battery. And also a lot of people are saying, well, if you're using voice chat with online connections, with a good brightness, with volume, with a powerful like big game like Zelda in HD, then you're going to be draining your battery really fast. And I do agree with that. I think that that is definitely one factor of why Nintendo probably decided to make you use a smartphone, because they don't want your Nintendo Switch battery to be draining in like 45 minutes if you're using all of that stuff at the same time. So yeah, I can understand that. But I want to talk to you guys about the big reason as to why I think that you're going to have to use a phone app instead of using just like the normal Nintendo Switch. Alright, so the big thing right here, when I always talk to people about Nintendo Switch Online voice chat, people always say the one thing where it's like, well, the Nintendo Switch console has a headphone jack inside of it, so why can't you just put your headset into that and then use it? And that's true. If you're in portable mode, you can do that. But let's say you're at home. Well, now if you dock your system onto your TV, then how are you supposed to get your headset onto the headphone jack and then still sit comfortably and then be able to play online with voice chat? Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys, unless you guys sit really close to your TV, which I'm sure not many of you do, I'm sure a lot of you guys have your TV like on the wall or on like a stand or something a little bit away from your couch or wherever you guys sit. And so if you try to think about if you're putting your headset into the Nintendo Switch headphone jack on like the system, then there's no way you're going to be able to sit on your couch, because obviously your headset isn't going to have that big of a wire. And so that's really the one big reason that I think that you're going to have to use a phone app, because there's no way you can put your headset onto the system and still sit comfortably. And I know how a lot of people are saying, well, that's an easy solution, Aero. Just get yourself some wireless headphones. Well, yeah, I guess that can work, but it would be really stupid if Nintendo made everybody who wants to use their system while it's docked and talk to their friends using voice chat have to buy a pair of wireless headphones in order to do that. Like, that would be one of the biggest downsides to this entire system. Like, everybody would say in their reviews for this system, well, this system is bad because it forces you to get wireless headphones to be able to use voice chat, and so that would be a really big mistake. So Nintendo can't just force you guys to get wireless headphones, and so that's definitely one thing. And I know how a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, just put a headphone jack onto the Pro controller, because you're going to be using the Pro controller when you're sitting on your couch. So if you just put a headphone jack into the Pro controller, then that should do it, right? And yes, that is true, but the thing is, the Pro controller isn't the default controller to play while it's docked. The Pro controller is an optional controller. Not everyone's going to be using it, and so yeah, you can't really put a headphone jack onto a Pro controller because not everyone's going to buy a Pro controller. Alright, so I know you guys are thinking now, well, Aero, obviously the Joy-Cons are like the primary controller now, so if you're playing it on the TV, you're going to be using the Joy-Con grip, so just put a headphone jack on the Joy-Con grip. And yes, that is true as well. A lot of times people are going to be playing on the TV with the Joy-Con grip, and that makes us a lot of sense as well. So you can just put a headphone jack onto the Joy-Con grip, and then you can put your headset into that, and then you can talk to your friends and stuff. But here's the thing. Here's sort of like the thing where, since Nintendo gives you guys so many options, it sort of doesn't work for them in like voice chat. And I'm trying to explain this as best as I can, but you can play games on the Nintendo Switch with just one Joy-Con. Like, we've seen this many times, it's been demonstrated to us, and the thing is, if you really wanted to, even though it sounds weird and something that not many people would do, you can technically play with one Joy-Con on your TV. And so if you wanted to play with one Joy-Con, like if you're playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and you just want to play with one Joy-Con on your TV, then you can't really use the Joy-Con grip as like a headset now, or like you can't put your headset into the Joy-Con grip because you're only using one Joy-Con. So you see what I mean? Now you're gonna have to put a headphone jack onto each Joy-Con, because if you're playing it separately, then you can, you're gonna have to put your headphone into that. So you see what I mean here? Since Nintendo gives so many options to us with our different controller variations, that voice chat is kind of hard to use with a headphone jack onto the controller because of all the options that Nintendo gave us. Like, we'd have to put a headphone jack in the Pro controller, the Joy-Con grip, every single Joy-Con, and it would just get really confusing. But in all of those different configurations that I talked about for the controllers, you can use your phone right next to you. In all of those ways, you can always have your phone next to you, and you could just use voice chat that way. So there you guys go. That is like the big reason as to why I think that you need to use your phone app. And once again, I am telling you right now, I'm not a fan of that either. When I first heard that, I wasn't like really happy, like, oh boy, we're gonna use a phone app for this. No, definitely I was a little bit disappointed as well. But like, after I thought about this for a bit, and just, like I explained this to you guys in this video, I understand why Nintendo decided to go with the phone app. They gave so many different options with the controllers, and obviously if they forced you to get wireless headphones, that would just be really bad. And so yeah, that is really the big reason as to why you need to have headphones, or you need to use the phone app in order to use voice chat. But anyway, as for just how I want the Nintendo Switch Online experience to be, I hope the servers are working really well, and I just hope that everything works really well, and I hope like you can invite your friends and stuff easily. You don't have to do a lot of work, and like that you can send friend requests from the Nintendo Switch app as well. And I think that if stuff like that works, then it'll definitely be fine. You won't have to worry that much. And from the looks of like what we've been hearing about the Nintendo Switch app, it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. I mean, like, I think I read somewhere where like Splatoon 2 is actually gonna be using it, and like, you're gonna be able to talk with all your friends in like a lobby, and then once you guys split onto teams, then you're only gonna be able to talk with your teammates. So it looks like it's gonna be integrated with every single game. And so that definitely sounds really cool. I think that that'll definitely make sense. I hope that if you're gonna have voice chat, then they can have that like integrated with all the games that are coming out. Then I think it'll be fine. I just don't want this to be like a simple Skype app kind of, where it's just like Nintendo based and like you can just talk with your friends and just chat with them and stuff like that. I hope that it is definitely much more integrated with like your experience of playing the games as well. And if it's like that, then I think that we won't have to worry about that. But yeah, I just wanted to explain with you guys the big reason as to why you need to use this phone app. So hopefully you guys now have have a better understanding of why you gotta use a phone app. You know, I'm not a fan of it either, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Nintendo says about this phone app, and like we'll have to just wait and see how this phone app is before we can give any judgment on that. And I really hope that Nintendo does tell us about voice chat and just a whole bunch of these online features in this online app really soon. I mean, the Switch, like I said, is coming out in a few days. Hopefully we'll get some information really soon. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to click that like button. It really does help me out. And definitely comment down below, what are your thoughts on Nintendo Switch Online? Are you guys a little bit worried about it? Do you now understand why you gotta use a phone app in order to use voice chat and stuff like that? Definitely let me know what are your thoughts about all of that down below. And if you guys want to stay up to date with me, then go follow me on Twitter. You can ask me some stuff, and I'm always going to be able to reply to you guys. And if you guys just want more Nintendo content on this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.